So your optical alignment is getting your laser output over to your laser head. By doing this, we go through the beam combiner first, which allows your laser to go through and reflects your actual laser light. From here it hits mirror 1, which comes down to your mirror 2 on your gantry rail. This is mirror 2. From here, the light is reflected over to mirror 3 onto your laser head, which then goes down to your cone, to your lens, and then out of your cone and onto your material. First step you want to do in your alignment is to make sure your tube is level. You do that by measuring from the base to the edge of the first bracket. Right here we have 113 millimeters. Here we have 114 millimeters. So we can bring this head down or lift the back end up. By doing that, we use a 3 millimeter Allen. Loosen these screws and brace the bracket so it doesn't fall down. Since we have the back end, we can lift it up about 1 millimeter or so. And then just tighten back down the Allen wrenches. Measure it again, about 114 millimeters. So you can tighten those down now, and now our tube is flush. Make sure that these are tight or the tube will fall. The entire alignment process, you're going to be using masking tape or painter's tape. There's not a lot of adhesive on it, so it doesn't ruin the mirror, and it's easily identifiable to mark the laser. Double sticking it and putting it onto mirror 1. As you place it onto mirror 1, rub around the mirror to indent into it so you can see the actual mirror shape itself. What we're looking for here is a clean mark onto the tape from the laser and no reflection from anything from any of the frames. And always remember, whenever your laser is firing, to have your chiller on at all times. You see the indentation, and you see that there's a nice circle there where it hits, and there's no cutoffs. So from here we go to mirror 2 on the side of the gantry rail. You can either access that from the hood or from the access panel from the side. Go for it. On each mirror there's 3 brass screws. Each one moves the mirror to reflect in a different angle. The top one moves it up and down. The bottom left one reflects left and right as you screw. And the bottom right one reflects it at a 45-degree angle. Again, double side your tape so it doesn't mark and stay on the mirror. You put it on the mirror, make sure to indent around the mirror so to leave a good imprint of the mirror behind it. First part, you want to move your mirror all the way close, mirror 2 to mirror 1. And then you're going to pulse your laser all the way back there. Always make sure to close all your access panels before firing the laser so you don't reflect out of the machine and damage anybody. You're going to bring your mirror, leaving that piece of tape on there. Bring your mirror back all the way to this side. So after you fire your first shot, you want to go and mark it to make sure you know which one is your first hit. And then you want to close your hood and fire it again. So in this case, our first one was in the middle, and our second one was offset to the right. So we're going to try to bring this one back over to the first one. After we've corrected it, we still see that we're not quite there yet. They're still not on top of each other. So we go back and we continue to turn the brass set screws until we're on top of each other. And then you want to verify that they hit on top of each other, just like that. So now that we have mirror 1 to 2 perfectly aligned, now we're going to move on to mirror 3 in the laser head itself. So now we have mirror 1 to mirror 2 aligned, we're going to check it, we can double check it onto mirror 3. By doing this, we put a piece of tape over the hole, moving it back, firing the laser, moving it forward again, firing it again, and it should be perfectly aligned. That means our 1 to 2 on our y-axis is perfectly aligned. Now to check mirror 2 to 3, put our tape back over the hole, make sure there's an indent on it, move the head all the way to the left-hand side, in this example we have our first shot was in the middle and our second shot was all the way in the bottom. So now we need to move our laser is firing low, so now we need to move our laser up. Again, to move our laser up, we want to adjust the upper right set screw. Make sure we verify where our shot is at and fire it again. We're almost there, just a little off to the left. As you do this, you can just keep adding tape to it. You have to keep taking it off again. There it is. Good alignment from mirror 2 to 3. Now we know mirror 1, 2 to 3 is perfectly aligned. So after you have mirror 1 to 2 and mirror 2 to 3 aligned, you want to fire the laser in all 4 corners to make sure that it's actually centered. Now that you have mirror 1 to 2 and mirror 2 to 3 aligned, you can go back and tighten down your lock nuts on your brass set screws. Making sure to not turn your screw as you're tightening it down. So now that we know that our mirror 1 to 2 is straight and mirror 2 to 3 is straight, now we want to verify our mirror 3 down to our lens and coming out of our cone straight. To do that, put a piece of tape underneath your cone, press firmly to indent to it, pulse your laser, and you should have a perfect circle coming out through it. If your pulse looks like this, that means it's reflecting inside of the cone or inside of the lens housing itself. And you have to line it down from mirror 3. Adjusting this mirror just like adjusting mirror 1 and mirror 2. Loosen up your lock nuts and screw it down to adjust the reflection of this mirror 3. That's almost there. It's a little cut off still at the cone. Yeah. Alright, so we adjust it again. Now we have a perfect circle again. this off. Alright, so your last and final test is your acrylic test to verify that your laser is actually shooting straight down through your material. What you're doing is you have a long piece of acrylic, you autofocus to it, and you pulse your laser for the amount of time to get through the actual material. We can see that our laser is shooting straight down, and this is perfectly aligned laser. After you've completed your alignment, you're going to want to go through and clean all of your mirrors and lens to make sure that there's no debris left on them. In order to clean your lens, you have to remove your lens housing. To do this, you want to move your work table down. First, remove your air hose. Remove your air fitting. Remove your cone, be it a screw-on or a set screw. And then spin the top knurled nut. And remove your lens housing. At the bottom you have your lens. Take your lens wrench. Inside of there's your aluminum O-ring and slots. Put this into the slot and spin it out. Be careful to not scratch your lens. This is like infinite gift. Down there will be the O-ring and your lens. You still have to get out. Take a non-metal plastic object. Firmly push the lens out of the lens housing. You'll have your O-ring and your lens. Always make sure to know the orientation of your lens. The flat part faces down towards your material. The convex area faces up towards your unfocused laser. With a microfiber wipe or a lens wipe, clean the lens. Once it's shiny again and you can see through it and there's no scratches or any foreign object, you can place it back into the lens housing. Again, with the convex side, you're going to be facing it down. Placing the O-ring in. And then your aluminum O-ring as well. And screwing that back down. Make sure it's firm. Too tight and you could break your lens, so not too tight, but have it firm. Place it back up into the laser head. Tighten this down as tightly as possible so you do not so your head does not move around. And then reverse the procedure.